All right, good evening, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, where we help folks learn more about the markets, make better trades, and to be successful. We're taking a look at the market. We've got the Dow Industrials up here, and it's another record high, and we just keep pushing. It just keeps. My best evaluation of where we're at here on the Dow Industrials is that we are in a fifth wave, major wave up here, and that we are in the third intermediate of the fifth wave. I think we just corrected. It's a little bit clearer on the S&P 500, and I'll show you in a minute, because I think it's hard to tell whether it was just a little short-term correction here or whether it actually went up and it pulled back. It was more of that on the S&P 500, but either way, we just continue to push forward here. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. Clearly, I think that we're in fifth wave. Here's three. Here's the third major wave, fourth major correction. Little shallow, but that's expected because this was an extended wave here, three. And now we're in intermediate 1, 2, which pulled back about over 70%. 3, this pulled back almost 23%, 22.5% exactly shallow, and it was an A, B, C flat correction in here, and now we are in what looks like a fifth move up of the five wave move. So now, given that these look fairly normal, 1 and 3 was fairly normal, neither one of them subdivided and extended, then what we try to do is to estimate and say, well, how far can 5 go then if it is going to extend? Now, what you do is you measure the distance from 0, from all of 1 through 3, and come back down here to the bottom of 4, and you look to see where does the distance equal. Where's 100%? Well, it's 100% at 1894. Well, 1894 is 104 S&P points above. So it's going to be real interesting to see if we get that far. Because the whole premise on that, again, is that we're looking at an extension on wave 5. For wave 5 to be much longer than 3 or 1, because typically you're going to get 1 out of the 3 impulse waves here to extend. Okay, so again, a lot of Elliott wave talk, but that's not that's my best, when I start to look and say, okay, where could we possibly go, and given the way we're kind of trading right now, it could be kind of a blow off final wave up right there. The NASDAQ has not pushed, it's not doing anything real negative, except it hasn't pushed to new highs. It hasn't pushed to new highs on the RSI index either. So let's see. High-low indicator, as you can expect with the rallies, we had 232 more new highs than we had new lows. So that popped this back up above, going in this direction rather than continuing to go down below 0, which would have been kind of in a rollover mode. And so that's very positive. We look at the financial ETF. Now, the financial ETF, let me look at my notes here. It closed at a post-Great Recession high, if we want to call it a Great Recession. Really, it was a crash, 2008. This is a post-2008 high, okay, in terms of a close. The intraday went to 2104. The intraday over here was 2104. But the close was a new high since 2008, so that is good news. So that kind of tells us that the financials are coming around and getting back in sync with the indices pushing higher, which is what we need to have in here. Now I want to take a look tonight at is I want to take a look at silver, because we looked at gold on Tuesday. Take a look at silver, so we'll look at SLV, the silver ETF, and then we'll take a look at silver Wheaton, which is silver mining stock or mining related stock, and we'll see how they look. So let's take a look at SLV. Okay, SLV, it's been trending down for quite a while, and we got this big divergence in here at this June low, very similar to GLD, okay? And then we've rallied up, and let me kind of take away that and shrink this a little bit. I think we've had, this move in here, this first wave, is almost what we call like a triangle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get that sometimes. It's like a leading triangular type of wave. It's kind of confusing. And then a 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there's a possibility we've had 5 waves up in here, which would make this, a wave 1. And then we've had this corrective wave in here, A, B, C. We thought we had, like an A, B, C here, but as it moved forward, it wasn't impulsive. You saw these overlapping, and then it rolled back down again, and we went to a lower low. Now, from an Elliott wave perspective, here's the thing. On a pullback with a correction of wave 2 here, you cannot go below this point, 0. Okay, you can't go beyond that and still call it a wave 2. If you do, so in reality, I mean, if you want to take a chance and say, well, we think this is going to go up, well, then the stop needs to be right below 17.75. Okay, and that's where the whole premise is wrong. Now we've pulled back 61.8% from this of this move. So of this move, we've pulled back to this just a little bit past 61.8% retraction, which wave 2 has a tendency to be deeper, 50%, 61.8%, and sometimes even deeper. So there's a good probability this thing is getting ready to turn, but you do need to get the 10-day back above, and you got the 20 below the 50. So you need to be cautious. You got work to do. I mean, you can roll the dice, but have a stop and know where you're going to be wrong, because right now it's not really telling you that it's turning up. You're just suspecting that it's going to be turning up. Okay, now let's take a look at silver Wheaton. Okay, a similar type thing. We had this divergence in the, if we look at the DI plus and DI minus, the red is the DI minus, which is selling pressure. Well, we got a lower low here, but we did not get higher selling pressure. And the same thing with the RSI. Okay, and then you got the same thing on the RSI here, where you got bullish divergence coming in here at potentially a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But again, you got the 50 below the 200, you got the 20 below the 50. We're still in a downtrend, but that's the way it's going to be until you turn on and break up. Now, so this is, in my opinion, a decent chance that that could be what we're setting up to do in here, but just either decide you're going to put a stop here or you're going to put a stop down here, which is a heck of a lot more risk. You could put a stop below here and maybe even on a close. Okay, but that's just kind of the best estimate. When we look at where silver Wheaton's possibly from this big correction here coming back down, and maybe we're getting ready to turn. But again, you just kind of back to seeing the whites of their eyes. You need to see this start to close above the blue line, and you need to see that blue line start to get above the gray line and start to turn and get these things turning back up to put some odds in your favor that it's going to be right. So anyway, that's about it for tonight. I'll take you back to the, what is it? The Magnificent Seven, the theme for Magnificent Seven. And by the way, I think they are talking about doing a remake of this movie. I've heard Tom Cruise, I've heard Costner, I've heard Matt Damon, I've heard a whole bunch of people. But anyway, we'll see if they pull it off. And have a great evening, and we'll talk to you this weekend, and have a great Friday, great trading Friday. This has been Joe for Beyond the Chart.